Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
I'm Gaynor.
Okay, here we are, the two of us.
Yep.
We spent $1 on an abandoned baseball stadium and $14 million to convert it into luxury apartments.
This happened in Liverpool, didn't it? There was a street that was really run down.
Kind of, where you could buy your house for £1,
Yeah.
as long as you spent a certain amount on it.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different.
Yeah.
This is buying it for £1 and then converting it and spending $14 million on it.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm just
buying
saying.
it for $1, but
they're trying to
regenerate the areas. But there's loads of places. I remember we were one of the companies I used to work for in the USA. They used to buy old schools, if you remember, and turn them into offices.
Yeah.
And it was it was a great idea, but they get the schools for like really cheap.
Yeah.
But then like $1 sort of thing, and then buy them from the local township or whatever, and then invest a major amount of money into them to sort of like build them into offices, and then.
Well, we have the same here with the churches.
Yeah,
All
correct.
the churches are closing down.
Yeah, becoming mosques. A lot of them are.
Yeah, they are. But also turning into apartments.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. So if you get into this one, we
Yep.
spent $1 on an abandoned baseball stadium and $14 million to convert it into luxury apartments. Bet they're nice.
Initially, people thought that we were crazy for wanting to turn an abandoned baseball stadium into apartments.
There were 2,000 cash for clunker cars parked on the infield, 4-foot-high weeds, and 15-year-old trees were growing up in the infield because the property hadn't been used as a baseball stadium in quite a long time.
Hi, welcome to Stadium Lofts in Indianapolis, Indiana.
I like the look of this already.
I'm Michael Cox, and I'm 54 years old.
I'm John Watson, and I'm 65 years old. We took an abandoned baseball stadium that the city of Indianapolis gave us for $1 and turned it into 138 apartment units.
Quite basic, isn't it?
Look at the rent.
Yeah, I know.
1,700 for like 1 to 2 bed.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of a town, I guess, right in Indianapolis, he
Yeah,
said, right?
yeah.
I just like the idea of things like it's like quirky ideas.
Yeah.
Where it goes from an abandoned, like derelict piece of junk that you walk in, an eyesore basically, to something that looks really mint.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping, by the looks of it, it looks like they kept the baseball field in the back.
You're looking out onto the baseball field.
Yeah, I wonder if it's used.
I think it probably is
Yeah.
used for the residents.
Yeah.
There are 4 owners of the project. It's myself, my 2 sons, and Michael. My youngest son was a development associate and worked for us at the time. My older son is a passive investor. I was the board chair of Indiana Landmarks, a not-for-profit historic preservation organization, and we were postulating ideas as to what could be done with Busch Stadium. About 9 months later, after we had come up with a few ideas, they approached me again and said, if you don't do that idea you came up with to turn it into apartments, it's going to be lost. They're going to tear it down. So we put together a team and explored whether or not it was possible to do it. The city's goal was bigger than ours. We were looking to do an apartment project. The city's goal was to create a catalyst for the neighborhood and to stretch downtown beyond its current boundaries.
As well as save an historic baseball stadium that had a lot of history in Indianapolis.
As a condition of transferring the property to us, the city mandated that we build an additional 144 units outside of the stadium.
Okay.
Those units were built in 4 separate buildings adjacent to the stadium.
The profits from the project are split proportionally based on the ownership of the individual partners.
The cash flows from this project have been used to create other projects that we've done, as well as we're constantly reinvesting back in this project to maintain it as a great place to live.
When we first saw the stadium, we were excited about the potential of the project. We were a little apprehensive of could it really be done.
Our biggest concern when we started this project was who was going to show up and rent it. There wasn't much housing in the neighborhood. There wasn't much economic activity in the neighborhood. We were kind of pioneers when we did this project. And so we were concerned about its success, and we underwrote it very conservatively.
Busch Stadium, from a technical standpoint, was probably the most difficult project that we've done in terms of solving the construction and engineering issues that needed to be resolved in order to be able to build the project, while maintaining the character of the building and also while turning it into apartment units people would want to live in.
In the renovation, we wanted it to be stadium-like. We didn't want to take all the stadium character away, so we
You've got to keep it that way.
Yeah,
if
you're
going to build
yeah.
it based on a baseball stadium, it's got to look and feel like a baseball stadium, hasn't it?
I was just
With
thinking then all those yellow seats, they should have done like an area where they kept the seats so people could go and sit on them. I know it looked a bit cheesy,
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure about that, because you also want to, you could attract people that you don't want to be hanging around that area, you know. But it looks, I saw the buildings in the background in the distance, which I'm assuming is downtown, and it looked quite a distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
We designed it such that when you walked into the stadium, you felt like you were walking into a historic stadium rather than an apartment building. We retained the billboards that were in the outfield, the brick wall that was in the outfield, the scoreboard. We retained the infield, and we put back the base paths in concrete to kind of pay homage to what was here before. In addition, we saved the press box on top of the third floor of the building. Doesn't serve a real function anymore, but it is there because it was.
Another interesting feature that we saved were the ticket booths at the front of the stadium. So as you walk up,
I thought that bit on the top was like, might have been like a penthouse,
Yeah,
sort of
I was
like
gonna say
suite.
they should- yeah, I
sort
thought
of
they
like
should have made it
turn it into some kind of suite,
Yeah.
you know, a resident suite or something.
up to the front door, you still see the old ticket booths with the metal grating in them, and those areas are now inside apartments as closets. The budget for renovating Busch Stadium into apartments was about $14 million, and we stayed within budget.
The original construction loans have long been paid off, and they've been replaced with long-term permanent financing. The Stadium Flats project was built about 2 years after the Stadium Lofts project was completed. At that time, when we opened, all of those were fully leased as well.
The overall development cost of the Stadium Flats portion of the project was about $13 million.
As you walk,
There's another thing as well about US, like living, the way of life. See how much parking they had there?
yeah,
Yeah, we get like 3 spots for like a block of flats.
I know.
walk into the stadium from the outside, you're walking towards the ticket booths that were original to the outside of the building. As you pass through the front door, you walk into the underside of the stadium still being visible.
Yeah.
Hi, come on into one of our study rooms. So we have 3 study rooms here, and they're located under the grandstand. So we have high ceilings all the way up to the old grandstand. Lots of open space and lots of light. Come check out our fitness center. The fitness center is another one of the spaces we built under the grandstand here. We have spaces for cardio, whether it be treadmills or bikes, free weights. And down on the end, we have another space to do personal workouts with a bench and dumbbells. Also in the fitness room, we have further sort of accented our decorating by putting some images from the old stadium on the windows. The last space we constructed under the grandstand is our bullpen. Originally, this was a conference room. You can also see in the bullpen, we have old ticket gates where the turnstiles used to be. We left installed and built walls in and around them.
We also built a courtyard for our residents to hang out in. Come on in. In the courtyard, which is adjacent to the field, we built a gas fireplace, tables and chairs, and a nice place for people to hang out. Welcome to section 304.
I thought they'd have put that on the diamond.
You think?
Yeah. I just thought it's I mean, it's nice to see and all that, but there's no real use for it.
Well, if you think about it, all the apartments are facing out onto the field. Would you really want to be sat on your balcony when people are grilling?
Yeah, people spend millions, hundreds of millions sometimes to look over parks.
No, I
Sort
understand
of like
that.
a view of Central Park or a view of Hyde Park or whatever it may be, and that's a similar sort of thing. You've got a view of a park where people are just chilling and relaxing. People prefer that. Why would you just overlook nothing?
Personally,
or a car park.
I don't want to sit and smell people cooking burgers.
But you're not necessarily doing that. It's a hangout place. Well, I think they should have done something with that.
Stadium Lofts.
My opinion.
We have all the conventional amenities, full kitchen with stainless appliances, granite countertops, washer dryer, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and then we were able to expose the steel trusses and tongue and groove decking of the original roof of the stadium. One of the unconventional things we did was we exposed all the concrete floors in the units. We poured new concrete and then polished it for a finished floor. When we did the balconies, we wanted them to feel like you were at the stadium.
Yeah, at the game.
So we used chain link fencing for the railings to create that stadium type appeal.
I know what they're getting at, but I don't like it. I think it looks a bit scruffy.
It does look a bit low end when you when you start putting chain link fences up instead of sort of like, you know, you could have glass or something like that sort of thing that makes it look a little bit more classy if you want.
Yeah.
But I guess what they're going for is that baseball look. But you could have added. You've got enough of the baseball look without having to go.
Yeah.
Chain link fence doesn't work for me.
No,
I agree.
For me, completing this project, I found really satisfying. In one way, it was the culmination of a childhood dream. I played baseball growing up, and I always thought maybe I'd get into the Hall of Fame as a baseball player.
When we opened the project, we did tours. There was a tremendous amount of interest by people in Indianapolis coming to tour this project because almost everybody had been here for a baseball game sometime during their lifetime. And many people, this was the first experience they had going to a baseball game with their dad. So the connections were deep, and people couldn't wait to come tour the project.
The neighborhood and the public and the city were all ecstatic that we were able to save the building and bring some new housing to this neighborhood.
I agree with what they're saying there. It's something where what's great about it for me is it's a sporting venue that's been turned into a living accommodation. But I mean, even there you've got the seats leading up to it, like you're saying. You know, it really did hold the baseball effect. Stadium effect.
Yeah.
There were certain things where I think it did overdone the quirkiness of it, and I think they could have like boxed some stuff off where it was like made it a little bit more classy. But I'm not sure who the target market is. I don't know that area very well, so I know that it's either the working class guy or is it the upper class.
I'm
sort of like
guessing
workers
from those rents, it's probably like an overspill of the city that can't afford to live in the city.
Yeah, maybe a regeneration
I'm
area.
wondering why it closed down, whether they built a new stadium.
Oh, that's probably what it would have been.
Yeah. And it was just left to wreck and ruin.
But what a great sort of like transformation, if you want. Yeah. But I don't know, things like that I think are brilliant, and I wish people would do it more with different things rather than seeing empty buildings or just empty wasteland.
Well, if you remember in London, there's a big hotel that was originally a train station, and it still looks like a train station.
Beautiful piece of architecture. Yeah, it's absolutely stunning that. But yeah, I enjoyed that. Hope you guys did as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Cheers.